All right, my friend, this is Dr. Otieno, here to show you how you can improve your quality of life and of those that you care about as well. So without wasting much time, let us get right to it. All right. I congratulate you for taking the time to watch this short training, a short video on how you can participate in this noble endeavor of improving your quality of life and of those that you care about. Okay. So a quick, a quick, quick talk over here. Start with a health talk. Yeah. Because I believe that a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. And I believe you agree with me on that. Now, this is how the body has been organized, right? We have the cell that many cells come together, they make a tissue. Many tissues come together, make an organ. Many organs come together, make an organ system. And many organ systems come together to make the organism, all right? Now, the reason I show you this is because if you want really to secure your own quality of life and proper health for yourself, then you need to think about how you can target the cell. Now, this is how the cell of a newborn individual, a newborn baby looks like. It's pure and clean. There's the cell membrane, you can see the organelles in there. It just looks awesome and clean and pure. But over time, this is what happens to your cell, right? By the time you're 5 years of age, your cell looks like this. You can see it's already getting dirty, it's already getting contaminated. Yeah. Now, what's responsible for turning such a pure cell into this? The answer is free radicals. Now, free radicals, as they work, it's demonstrated over here. Here we have an atom, and then here we have another atom that is hungry for an electron. That is what free radicals do. They basically steal electrons, so to speak, right? So when that happens, when this free radical steals this electron from this atom, then this atom will be turned into, will also have to look for another electron to add to itself. Are we together? And that's how it works, okay? A free radical turns another innocent atom or molecule into another free radical. And the cycle continues. Now, where do we get these free radicals? There are various sources of these free radicals. Number one, the food that we eat. Okay, many people love eating fast foods, processed foods, to be more specific. They have lots and they contain lots of free radicals. Okay, smoking, that's another source of free radicals. Okay, now it is known that a cigarette has that all the components of a cigarette is actually poisonous. More than 100 poisonous um, components in it. Now, it's also known that passive smoking is safer than active smoking. This individual who's holding this cigarette, he is an active smoker because he's the one smoking the cigarette. Right? Now, perhaps what you've never known is this. If you examine the cigar of this individual, you'll find a filter over here, right? So that when he breathes in or inhales the contents of the cigarette, only 20% of the components get into his lungs. Now, this smoke actually contains more than 80%. And that is what gets into anyone who is next to this person who's smoking a cigarette. That is why passive smoking is more dangerous than active smoking, right? Okay, next source, air pollution, right? From factories, from vehicles that are around us, we get free radicals, all right? Water pollution, okay? You consume contaminated water and you get your free radicals, all right? Radiation, which is all over, your phones, your laptops, your Wi-Fi, your television. My point is, we cannot escape free radicals. They are all over, they are everywhere we go. By virtue of living on this planet, you are constantly being bombarded by sources of free radicals, okay? So as a result of having these free radicals, just to mention some of the diseases that one can get, and most of them are non-communicable diseases, all right? Number one, you can see here there's an individual who's trying to check his sugar levels. This is mostly diabetic individual. Diabetic patients are the ones who check their sugar levels, right? We also have hypertension. This is the device that's used to measure your blood pressure. Now, the truth about diabetes and hypertension is that they work together. 80% of people who are diabetics also have hypertension or high blood pressure. 80% of people who have high blood pressure or hypertension also have diabetes, right? Okay, now before you is a blood vessel. I'm trying to demonstrate something over here. There's a blood vessel over here. And you see this yellow stuff? This is what we call cholesterol. There is good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. Now, bad cholesterol is what is shown before you. How do you get this bad cholesterol? From the foods you eat. Now, that's number one. And then on top of that, you consume fatty foods, and then you don't exercise. Over time, the cholesterol builds up in your blood vessel, and it reaches to such levels where it begins to block blood from traveling freely along the blood vessel. And so what that means is that if blood is coming from this direction and headed in and meant to head in this direction, then it means the blood will stop here, and there will be a very small amount of blood reaching the other side. And what that means is that the organ that is meant to receive this blood will not get the blood supply, and that is how the cells of that organ begin to die. Right? This is how a heart attack happens. This is how a diabetic foot happens. This is something before you is something that is called the diabetic foot, a complication that arises for individuals who have had diabetes for very long. Okay, so the sugar levels accumulate in your blood vessel, all right, and together with the cholesterol, and as a result of very little blood reaching the toes of your feet, as is demonstrated here, you find that the toes of your feet begin to decay. And once the toes of your feet begin to decay, of course, you'll have bacteria coming about. And once bacteria ferment or begin to feed on this decaying tissue, you begin to develop poison. And that is why people who have diabetic foot are actually candidates for amputation. That is how someone who's got diabetes for long is at risk of getting amputation. All right? This old man is not smiling. He's actually having a heart attack. Now, how does a heart attack happen? Okay, this is the heart, and this is the heart muscle. Right? Now, how a heart attack happens, it's just shown over here. The same mechanism. You know, blood is not allowed to get to the other side of the blood vessel, and as a result of that, you find that this area of the heart muscle is deprived of blood supply, and the cells of this area begin to die. And once that happens, then the heart is not able to pump well, hence resulting in the pain that that individual experiences. All right. Okay. Now, another thing that is affecting many individuals is obesity. As you can see, it's a risk factor for many of these non-communicable diseases. Okay. Remember, you've gotten this from the food you eat and the free radicals that are found in that food, the processed food. Altogether, this is an individual who's had throat cancer for a very long time, and the cancer has gone on and actually eaten away, so to speak. It's eaten away most of the tissue, including the skin. Now you can actually see some of the cartilages of the throat. You can actually, if you look properly, you can actually see this is a portion of the voice box. Yeah. Again, smoking for too long predisposes you to throat cancer. This is a comparison of a healthy lung on the left compared to an unhealthy lung on the right, a lung that has gotten itself, that has sustained lung cancer as a result of smoking for too long, right? This is a healthy uterus, okay? Over here we have the vagina over here, then the cervix over there, then the uterus, okay? And the muscle of the uterus known as the myometrium, looking very nice and healthy. We have the fallopian tubes and the ovaries over there on both sides. But what happens when you get fibroids? Then this is the kind of picture you're displaying, okay? Various kinds of fibroids. There's some fibroids that show up on the outside the uterus, some within the uterus, some within the wall of the uterus. All right. My point is all these things can be prevented, and I'm sure we know the saying, prevention is better than cure. Prevention is actually even cheaper than cure. So what I'm about to show you is how you can begin to prevent and even to reverse some of these non-communicable diseases. These non-communicable diseases, basically diseases that are not, you cannot transfer. For example, something like tuberculosis can be transferred easily by coughing, right? The viruses can be transferred via coughing, but something like diabetes is not transferable, okay? The most common risk factor for these non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and hypertension and cancer and fibroids, okay, and ulcers and what have you, the most common, the number one predisposing factor is number one, genetics. That's why you'll find that most individuals who have these conditions, if you ask them, well, they'll tell you that they know a family member from somewhere who also has the same condition, right? So since these are predisposed from your genetics, it's difficult, you know, you never choose your family. So what do you do to prevent yourself from getting these conditions? You prevent them how? By watching your diet, okay? A balanced diet. In fact, the World Health Organization recommends that every adult should have, as part of their balanced diet, 12 different fruits and vegetables, okay? Right? So the answer is really in our diet, because we cannot do anything about our genetics. We cannot do anything about the free radicals that are around us. But what we can do is we can arm our bodies with the proper nutrients that it requires, so that our bodies can easily fight these conditions. Are we together? So as you can see, the World Health Organization recommends that every adult should have 7 different servings of fruits or 7 different servings of vegetables daily. But as we know, this is not easy to meet. This is something that is very hard to meet. You know, your pocket may not allow. Where will you get those different fruits? You may be in a geographical area that does not have all the 7 different fruits and vegetables, right? And so that is where, through technology, we have been able to put all these components into something that is easily packaged and can easily be accessed. And that is where supplements come in, right? So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the supplements that I use, some of the supplements that I have been able to avail to some individuals who have suffered these non-communicable diseases for a very long time. But after using these supplements for a few months, they begin to see improvement, and they begin, you know, someone who has been using several drugs and injections just for diabetes, for example, all of a sudden they use a few capsules for some months, and after some time their quality of life becomes better, like that of a normal person. Someone who's been going to hospital every now and then because of hypertension, using too much money, after some time they use a few number of capsules for a few months, and they become normal as if they never had it. Someone who had fibroids and was scheduled for a myomectomy, basically a surgery where you take out the uterus sometimes. After a few months of using, using some capsules, the fibroids are gone, proven by ultrasound. Okay, so you are about to participate in this noble endeavor. Okay, so what do supplements do? They basically provide nutrients, vitamins, and many other kind of nutrients, minerals, and these nutrients together basically enable the body to fight the free radicals. Okay, and they also help in boosting your immunity. Are we together? Okay, so these are some of the products that I'm going to talk to you about. Some of them I use and I have recommended to many patients who have suffered for long, and life has begun to get better. We begin at the first one, and it's known as C24/7, which basically means complete nutrition 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, this particular product has more than 22,000 plant nutrients, or phytonutrients. The word phyto basically means plants. It has more than 22,000 plant nutrients, and I'll just be mentioning a few of them, okay? Now, C24/7 has more than 29 vitamins and minerals, and as you can see, each and every vitamin has its own role, okay? For example, vitamin D, that's very good for your immunity and also very good for your bones, okay? You have vitamin B4, which is very good for your blood, okay? All right. So every vitamin has its own role. Vitamin A, vitamin K, very good for clotting, for those who have clotting diseases. Okay. There are many minerals within it. Right. And as you can see, calcium is very good in lowering the cholesterol that I talked about. Boron is very good for the brain. Of course, if you want to know these functions, you feel free to pause the video. Right. Chromium, healthy blood sugar for those that have diabetes. All right. I don't want to take too much time, but you can pause the video, yeah, so that you can perhaps read each and every one. All right. Now, C24/7 also has 12 different whole fruit juice blends in it. Now, by whole fruit, I mean it has components from the seed, components from the flesh of the fruit, and components from the skin. And as you can see, each fruit has a particular role. Okay. For example, the plum, that's an anti-cancer fruit. Okay. The cranberry, that deals with urinary problems, people who have UTI, people who have kidney stones. Okay. People who are suffering from indigestion, papaya will really help them. All of this is in C24/7. Again, you can pause the video so that you can have your own detailed view, okay, so that you can know which fruit deals with what. It also has 12 whole vegetables in it, right? And as you can see, every vegetable has its own particular role. Something like Benign prostatic hyperplasia and prostate cancer is dealt very well by parsley, which is found in C24/7. Okay, birth defects, okay, dealt with by beetroot. Carrots, as we know them, they're very good for the eyes and also for the skin. All right, something that helps to detoxify your colon. We all know cabbage. Okay, garlic, very good for the liver. Okay, again, pause the video for your own review. All right, it also has 12 different leafy green vegetables, and as you can see, each and every vegetable has its own role. All together, something like alfalfa, very good to against arthritis. People who have problem with their knees and their fingers. Okay, they, you wake up in the morning and you can't leave your bed because of arthritis. You can't do something as simple as putting on your own socks. All right, those are the things the problem people are facing. Okay, high blood pressure. Okay, each fruit here has its own each leafy green vegetable has its own. These are actually grasses that are very good. Lemongrass, now, okay, very good for various conditions, as you can see. Okay, 12 different mushrooms also found in C24/7, and each mushroom has its own usage. Again, you can pause the video for you to get your own review. Apart from that, C24/7 also has 12 different 18 amino acids, right? And each amino acid, as we know, amino acids are the building block for the body. The reason why your body heals after, let's say, you've cut yourself and your body heals is because the body mobilizes amino acids, which are put together to form proteins. And those are the proteins that are responsible for the rebuilding of your tissues. Okay, very, very important. Okay, C24/7 also has digestive enzymes in it. Digestive enzymes, very good for those who are suffering indigestion and dyspepsia, okay, and ulcers. All together. Okay, all those enzymes in there. All right. It also has 10 essential fatty acids, which are essential for the integrity of the cell membrane of our cells. Okay, also has hub specialty nutrients in it. Okay, C24/7 also has anti-aging polyphenols and antioxidants, and these are very important because if you look at most individuals who have these non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and hypertension, you'll find that they are well advanced in age. Age is a well-known risk factor for most of these non-communicable diseases. And so if you can slow down the aging process, that's another way through which you can combat these non-communicable diseases. Hence the need for anti-aging polyphenols and longevity polyphenols in C24/7. Now, the beauty about C24/7 is that all those components that I have shown you have been put together into one capsule. And one pack of C24/7 has 30 capsules in it. All right. And how is that accomplished? Through nanotechnology. As I had said earlier, technology has enabled man to be able to do so many things. Now you can avail such great value in one capsule. Okay. And this is the list of diseases that C24/7 has been shown through research to deal with. Okay. Up to 100 known lifestyle conditions. Is it cancer, diabetes, hypertension, prostate disease, fibroids, whatever, arthritis, gout, name it. It is all in there. Okay. Now we go to the next product. The next product is known as Complete Phyto Energizer. Now this product is very similar to C24/7 in terms of all the components. All the components that I've mentioned here are found in Complete Phyto Energizer, except the anti-aging polyphenols. Now that is very important because if you come across a pregnant mom, you cannot give anti-aging polyphenols to anyone who is less than 19 years of age. You cannot give anti-aging polyphenols to a pregnant woman because that fetus will not grow. You cannot give anti-aging polyphenols to a pregnant mother. To a breastfeeding mother, because that infant will get the anti-aging polyphenols from mommy's milk, and that will inhibit the infant's growth. So for those three groups of people, it became necessary to come up with a product that has the same benefits as C24/7, but does not have the anti-aging polyphenols. So for example, if you come across a pregnant woman who is diabetic, something that's also common in pregnancy, instead of giving them C24/7, you will give them Complete Phyto Energizer. All right. Otherwise, all the other components that are in C24/7 are also in Complete Phyto Energizer, as is shown before you. This is a friend of mine. Her name is Lydia. She had a skin condition which was characterized by too much fluid in her skin, right? Puffiness. After using C24/7, after around the duration shown there, around 4 weeks. Yeah, around 4 weeks. This is her. This is how she looks like nowadays. Okay. Now, Well, imagine, I'm sure you've heard of people are suffering from ulcers, and as doctors, we are in the habit of telling them to avoid foods that would exacerbate or increase their symptoms. Foods like beans and, you know, they're giving us plants, tea leaves, just to mention a few. Now, imagine if you could give such an individual a beverage that neutralizes the excess acidity in the stomach. And that is the product that is displayed before you, Living Alkaline Coffee. It is coffee, but unlike normal coffee, as you know, coffee is acidic because of the caffeine content in it. Living Alkaline Coffee is alkaline. Why? Because the caffeine content in it has been reduced to about 0.01%. And then on top of that, Living Alkaline Coffee has plant alkaline salts. Okay? So this is a beverage that you can give to individuals who have ulcers. Now, the reason why Complete Fighter Energizer is also displayed before you is because all the components that are in Complete Fighter Energizer, and by extension of that are in C24/7, have also been fortified into this Living Alkaline Coffee. So that means if, for example, you are an individual who does not like capsules, you can also use this beverage to do what? To prevent non-communicable diseases. So for example, you are diabetic or hypertensive and you do not like capsules, you can use this particular beverage. Okay? Even as you prevent ulcers, even as you deal with your ulcers, you are also preventing other non-communicable diseases. That's the kind of value that is being given to you. All those 100 non-communicable diseases, right? Now, as you can see, this coffee comes in different flavors. There's the cappuccino, there's the latte, there's the cappuccino, there's the latte, there's the original. Then we also have another variant, which is the sugar-free. Now, this is a special kind of coffee. Yes, it is alkaline in nature, just like the others. But on top of that is that it does not have any sugar in it, okay? Now, this is very, very beneficial for those that are diabetics because it does not have sucrose, which is the normal table sugar we know, the sucrose, that's the name. The sugar that we put in tea called sucrose, it is not in this particular beverage. But instead of sucrose, what this beverage has is what we call stevia, which is actually sweeter than sucrose. So what we're saying is that through this beverage, you are able to offer something that is sweet to someone who's diabetic. They are able to enjoy the sweetness of tea or of coffee without having to worry about their normal sugar levels. Okay, so this is very important for the diabetics. And if you want to go through the benefits as are displayed before you, you can pause the video. All right. Now, Restore Life is another product that is very important because the main function of the Restore Life is that it is an anti-aging formulation, and what it does is that it slows down the physiological aging process. As I said earlier, most of the individuals who have these non-communicable diseases are well advanced in age. So if you could slow down the aging process, then that's one way through which you can do what? You can combat these conditions altogether. Now, on top of that, Restore Life also offers one major bonus, and that is it also increases your sensitivity to insulin. And so that's a bonus for those individuals who are also diabetic altogether, right? Now, Colidis is also a very important product. As the name suggests, it is a cholesterol reducer. And what it does is that, you remember the cholesterol I showed you earlier? The one that was clogging the blood vessel? The main role of Colidis is that it breaks down that cholesterol, okay? Through that mechanism, then you are able to prevent heart attacks. You are able to prevent strokes, okay? And you're able to maintain normal levels of lipids or fat in your body, okay? So it takes away the bad cholesterol. On top of that, it also contains omega-3, which is food for the brain. So for those that are beginning to forget where they've put their car keys or money, this would be something that would be very good to boost even your memory altogether, because it contains that from the fish oil, the deep sea fish. Okay, good. Vitamax is a product that is very important because what it does is that it promotes proper circulation of blood. So for those individuals who are who have coagulopathies or blood clotting diseases, such as deep venous thrombosis, known as DVT, okay, and other varicose veins, for example, this is a product that would really help them. So what does Vitamax do? What Vitamax does, in short, as is illustrated by this picture, is that it keeps the platelets smooth. Platelets are the component of your blood that are necessary for proper blood clotting. When you get hurt and you injure a blood vessel and you start bleeding, The reason why that blood begins to clot is because of these platelets. Okay, now for proper circulation to happen, it's important that your platelets remain smooth. Okay, it's important that your platelets remain smooth, and that is what Vitamax does. It promotes the smoothening of these platelets so that blood circulation can happen properly. It also reduces the predisposition of, or rather the accumulation of cholesterol in your blood vessels, right? And those are the benefits as are displayed before you. You can pause the video if you want to read further, okay? Now, we have also not forgotten our children. Imagine if you could take C24/7 or Complete Phyto-Energizer and place it in a chewing gum form. A chewing gum is something that children will not resist. So that means all the components of C24/7, except of course the anti-aging polyphenols, are now made available to the children. Okay, now this excites me because it means that I can begin preventing non-communicable diseases even in children. A child does not have to grow to adulthood for them to start preventing the disease. So for example, if you already know a child whose parents or grandparents had diabetes or hypertension or or cancer or whatever, you can start preventing them from getting these conditions. You don't have to wait for them to age for them to get it. You can start preventing them from getting these conditions. And those are the benefits displayed before you. If you want to read, you can pause further, okay? Now, it is also important that we take care of our intimate parts, and that is why we have what we call natural essentials. This is feminine wash displayed before you, and this is masculine wash. So feminine wash is for the ladies and masculine wash for the brothers. So what happens is these products basically are antiviral and antifungal and antibacterial, and they prevent the infections of that particular area, okay? Very important. If you want to pause the video to read about the benefits, feel free to do that, okay? Now, again, another product for our children, as is said before you, how to get children to get fruits and to eat fruits and vegetables. We know that children don't really like this. But what if you could take all those components of Complete Phyto-Energizer and place it in a drink that tastes like chocolate, a drink that is alkaline, and present it to your child? Do you think they will resist? No, they will not. Okay, so that means you can also provide this beverage to a child who is probably too young, maybe he doesn't even have teeth. Or of course, as an adult, you can also use this particular product. Are we together? Now, all the components of Complete Phyto-Energizer are in there, plus DHA, also known as docosahexaenoic acid. Now, DHA is a product that is very essential for proper brain function. So this is a bonus for the developing child's brain, okay? Now, imagine if you could take anti-pain medication or a painkiller and put it in a patch, okay? That is the product displayed before you. The name is Careleaf Patch, and those are the benefits over there. But I love this product because unlike most tablets, or like paracetamol and aspirin or whatever other product that is used whatever other pharmaceutical that is used as a painkiller, Careleaf Patch, what you do with it is you place it on the place where the pain is. If it's a headache, if it's a lower back pain, if it's cramping for the ladies, okay? Instead of using diclofenac, which basically exposes your entire body to the side effects of the drug, why don't you just treat the side that hurts and save the rest of the body from the side effects of the drug? And that is what Careleaf does for you. It's simply like elastoplast or a bandage. Just think of it as a bandage that has a painkiller in it, and that is what it is, right? You place it on the side that hurts, and you find that after 10 to 15 minutes, the pain is gone. Are we together? Now, what if you could come up with a beverage that helps in reducing weight? And that's the product displayed before you. This is another subset of the Livin Alkaline coffee. But on top of the fact that it is alkaline in nature, thus dealing with ulcers, on top of the fact that it has all the components of Complete Phyto-Energizer, thus allowing you to prevent all these non-communicable diseases, it also has, on top of all that, a component known as Garcinia cambogia, which basically helps in reducing your excess fat. Of course, together with exercise, you have to exercise. So basically, it keeps you from emotional eating, suppresses your appetite, all right? and then it also helps in burning excess fat. It's called burn coffee. The word burn basically means body under right nutrition. Now, it is not the only burning. It's not the only burn product. We also have those are the benefits there. There also exists burn shake. Okay, the same value given to you in the form of a milkshake. Okay, and those are the benefits over there. We also have burn iced tea, the same value given to you in the form of iced tea. You know, the kind of tea that you place ice in a glass from the fridge and then you consume your beverage. Okay, and those are the benefits over there. And then finally, the same kind of value is also given to you in the form of tablets. Okay, and as you can see, those are the benefits. It blocks your fat, it helps in preventing the production of fat, right? This is very good, especially for the cholesterol bit. It helps reduce emotional eating because you know, what it does is that it suppresses your appetite beyond, so that you don't eat excessively. Okay, right? So those are the benefits over there. Okay, now this is a friend of mine who had this tummy over here, as you can see. But after a while of you consuming the burn products, okay, around 12 weeks, you can see she has no tummy anymore. All right. So that is what I had for you. That is what I had for you. And I again congratulate you for having taken time to view this video. Make sure you get back to the person who sent you the YouTube link to this video, so that you can be directed on how you can access these products and on how you can participate in this noble endeavor of improving quality of life. Yeah. Otherwise, I thank you very much for viewing this video. This is Dr. Otieno bidding you goodbye. Have yourself a good one.